What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the 49 Carats podcast. It's your girl, Steph. I just finished watching the game over here at Levi's. I'm now in a Marriott, pretty much just watching doing a live from here, from that lobby. So that was just Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman trying to make a escape out of the hotel. Poor guys. I got a picture with them though, so that was pretty cool of them to, join. Let's talk about this game really quick. I mean, obviously the big storyline is, Trey Lance, and I want to start off by saying obviously that, you know, to me it was a huge bummer Trey Lance going out. Like I felt a little deflated in the immediate aftermath of seeing all of that go down, and like he just looked crushed on that cart. And obviously anytime they bring out the carts, it's never a good thing. So I felt terrible. And but this is what the 49ers were prepared for, right, in bringing Jimmy Garoppolo back onto this roster. So you know I just got a text from my cousin. So apparently in the presser just now, Kyle Shanahan said he regretted the call, the QB draw, but that he'd continue to run Lance up the middle like that so that he can be successful in this league. Very interesting, interesting choice. I mean, there's other ways you can run a quarterback, and personally, I'm not quite sure how I felt about seeing all of those QB draws. In that game. I mean, it's football, right? At any given play, there's going to be an opportunity or a chance of injury. But, running your quarterback up the middle seems like, just unnecessary risk, in my opinion. And so, to me, it was a little interesting to, continue to do that. I think there were other people like watching the game that were frustrated by it as well. In our section, some of the other fans who were there kind of, you can hear the frustration from the fans, like, why are you running him and things like that. And so obviously when we saw him down on the floor, you knew right away that it was going to be bad. And so, I definitely feel for Lance and, wish him a speedy recovery. But as far as Jimmy Garoppolo and how he did in this game, I thought he did well. I mean, obviously right off the bat, as soon as he went into the game, it was they were able to get some positive drives going, and that's as expected, right? Jimmy Garoppolo was a starting quarterback of this team for years, and so for him to go back out there, he pretty much was able to pick back up where he left off. And so, like I said, like that's pretty much what was expected. And so I think, now we know pretty much like what to expect in games. And because when Trey Lance was a quarterback, it was very, you don't know what's going to happen, right? Like it could be very good or it could be very bad, but we just knew that we were seeing a quarterback, grow right in front of us. And so I think now that, Jimmy Garoppolo is a quarterback, we know what to expect. And so obviously it's going to be a good football team, and there's going to be stability, and it's terrible, right? But all the questions surrounding this whole Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo, that whole dynamic, I mean, I guess that kind of goes out the window now. So, for better or for worse, like I said, I'm crushed over, Trey Lance and his injury, but, it's all systems go with Jimmy Garoppolo at this point. And like I said, we know what to expect with Jimmy Garoppolo, and we know this is a deep playoff roster, and I feel good about them being able to do that again, right? I mean, beating the Seahawks, let's talk about that for a second, because beating the Seahawks was something that, the 49ers haven't been able to do for a really long time. And granted, it wasn't Russell Wilson out there, but I think it felt good to get that monkey off our backs of, like, struggling against the Seahawks historically, and being able to get a win. So, that's a positive that I take from it. And another thing that I noticed was that less penalties in this game. It was a pretty clean game from the 49ers altogether. In fact, most of the penalties that were being called was from, the Seahawks, and that certainly helped the 49ers out, especially on some of those like pass interference calls. Um, but yeah, I think those are some positive takeaways that we can get from this game, as well as the running backs. I thought the running backs did really good in this game. Jeff Wilson Jr., as I expected, he had a better game. Um, you know, this week compared to last week in Chicago when he was asked to take extra snaps once Elijah Mitchell went out. He struggled a bit, but I was expecting him to have a good game, a better game, and he certainly did. And the other big question was like who was going to be the guy after Jeff Wilson Jr. and that ended up being Ty Davis Price. I don't think Jordan Mason got any carries or any snaps at all. So seems like Ty Davis Price in practice proved that he was a man. And I liked what I saw from Ty Davis Price today. I mean, I think we saw some of that hard running. I thought he had some good vision. He was following his blocks. He knew when to cut and things like that. So I liked what I saw from Ty Davis Price. So, definitely it seemed like he was the guy that earned those extra, opportunities, throughout the week, I would assume. And yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say else about that. But I'm pretty much going to cut the, instant reaction here. I'll do a more in-depth reaction uh, maybe tomorrow or either tomorrow or Tuesday. I fly out back home to Colorado on tomorrow night, so I'll see if I'm able to put together a more in-depth reaction. But usually I do my in-depths on Tuesday, and then I put out my all 22s on Monday night. So but I do have an announcement for you guys. I'm going to be on KTVU tomorrow with Sal Castaneda at 9:15 in the morning. So make sure you tune in, or get your recorder set, whatever, for 9:15 a.m. tomorrow, Monday morning on KTVU. Really excited to discuss 49ers on air. And yeah, I mean, go Niners. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.